Jodie, I want to learn so much more about your experience. You penned this beautiful letter that you put out to the public about the time that you served, what you learned from it, and what you felt like you could teach other people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today, Tabitha. I really appreciate it. This is an interesting time that we're in, and connecting with people via Zoom is our best way to cope. The letter that I wrote, or the article that I wrote about my time in Corps, right prior to Iraq, I was at a staging area in Kuwait, and I had a unit gunnery sergeant who's essentially like our manager, bring together our unit and say, we're about to invade Iraq, and so I need you all to write a letter to your families, and if you're killed in action, this is the letter that they're going to read. So think long and hard about what you want them to, what you want to say to them. And years old, my 20th day I spent in Iraq shortly after this event, and I sat down and I really, it was a sobering moment at 20 years old to think about I might die, and what does that mean for my family, and what do I want to say to them? So in that moment, I really had to think about, what did my death mean, but also what did my life mean to me? And so in writing that, I really, I talked about, I reflected on my role as a Marine. I was an intelligence analyst, so going into Iraq, my job was information from all different areas and fuse that to mitigate threats to troops. So whether it was from unmanned aerial vehicles, or our drone or sensors, essentially my job was to put that in a package that kept troops from being killed. So, I reflected on how important my job was in that aspect, but also I had two very young sisters at home. One was 12 and one had just turned 6. And, the core of me really thought, if I were to die, I want my sisters to know that nothing is off limits to them, and that they as women and young women can do anything that they want.
And as we go through this pandemic right now, I feel like you've gone through so much and you've helped so many people. What could you say to the people watching this about what you've learned through your experiences and how maybe it could help them?
I think one, optimism can sometimes be a really hard thing to draw up in an uncertain circumstance. But being optimistic, finding little things each day that you can do. One, put yourself on your schedule first. Do something that you really enjoy and that makes you feel whole, whether it's a little bit of yoga or meditation or reading just a couple lines in a book, and then try to tackle the big things. Take care of yourself first, but also realize that everyone needs a little bitness, and we're all going through this together, even though we're separated by walls. I think finding a deeper meaning in it right now, whether it's being a mom with your kids or leading a team through uncertainty, that meaning is something that is going to get us all through.
Let's talk a little more about your foundation, the Foundation for Women Warriors.
So Foundation for Women Warriors began almost 100 years ago. It started off as a housing facility for widows and mothers, war nurses coming out of World War I. And so through the years, we served women through, and we had, a couple pieces of property where we reduced rent rates for them and provided them housing. It was in the late 90s, we sold off the property and created that helped with housing stability. And then in 2006, we opened up the programs to serve women veterans coming back from the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. I think the one thing that we really can say within our organization is that women's history is our history. So as women's roles throughout history, from being, somewhat called up to serve in different capacities, and then being mothers and wives. And then now we have, women joining at increasing numbers each year. We're seeing that women's roles have changed, but economic opportunity is still lagging. And so what we do today at the Foundation for Women Warriors is we provide emergency financial assistance for housing, rent, utilities, food insecurity. We also provide childcare assistance for women that are either in school or working to offset the cost of childcare, which is a huge overlooked component of transitioning out of the military. And I think everyone now is kind of feeling how valuable childcare is, schooling and whatnot. And then we also do resources and referrals. We know that we can't provide everything to everyone, but we have wonderful partners that provide mental health resources, one-on-one job coaching. And then we also do professional development in the aspect of, we used to get together face-to-face with everyone and provide opportunities to negotiate salary, learn about marketing and building your own. Next week, we're actually on Monday having a financial planning class online, so we were able to take our content online. So essentially, we are seeing the economic stability of women veterans all throughout Southern California.
And in reading your story, I mean, I know that you were raised by a single mother. I was raised by a single grandmother. And it really gives you an appreciation for the hard work that women do when they're on their own. And it makes you feel motivated and empowered. And we take that into our lives, right? And you helping, of course, like transitioning out of the military and helping other women transition. And then I try and tell other people's stories because I know how difficult it is. What's next for you in your career, and what other projects are you working on, especially during this pandemic?
Next for me, academic is revealing a lot of focus on how we can do what we do, but do it better and make it more accessible for anyone. So our organization, we've worked in a hybrid in office and online. So we're just surveying our client base and understanding what they're now and trying to anticipate their needs over the next 3 to 6 months and then the year out. For me personally, I also serve on the SoCal Gas Community Advisory Council. I recently engaged in and was accepted to the Presidential Leadership Scholars Program. I think in this moment, my leadership will be defined, and I'll find new opportunities to expand our services and serve women veterans and bring it to the next level.
Speaking of leadership, there is kind of a hot topic right now, and that is the USS Theodore Roosevelt, in which the captain penned a letter, and the letter was then leaked. He was recently relieved of his duty. Could you give any insight into what that all meant?
The military is a unique place to serve in, and when you are, whether it's a small unit leader or even a captain of a Navy carrier or a ship, the mission comes first, but you have to take care of your troops, and their safety and their health and welfare is so important. And I think sometimes you have to make decisions that other people don't like, but it's for the benefit of the people beneath you, or I should say that work with you. It will, we don't know all the information, but I think that this will be a case study in the years to come on critical decision-making and leadership.
Is there anything else that you want to add or say or talk about while I have you here?
I think one of the things that we've tried to do with our organization is really advocate for women veterans. You'd be surprised how many times that scratch their head really have never considered women that serve. And though we're seeing women that serve increasing numbers, we're also seeing this growing population of the homeless veteran population. And women serve with so few women when they're in. It's not the same when we get out, that we just fall into this sisterhood of veterans like our male counterparts do. And so a lot of what we do is of women veterans first and foremost, You can go to our website. If you're homeschooling, we have all of these wonderful profiles of women that have served in our military throughout history that have made such significant contributions to our society. So please go to our website and check out these profiles. We're doing a 100 Women Warrior series right now. But then we also have the success stories of women who have served more recently, found themselves in challenging situations, and we've helped them succeed. I think more than anything, considering women as heroes, and then of course, seeing an influx of the need, because a lot of these women, 70% of the women we serve are single mothers. So if anyone finds themselves in a position to donate or support us, please go to our website, which is foundationforwomenwarriors.org.
And I wanted to ask you real quick, do you have a story that you would like to share about a woman who has transitioned out of the military, who has been helped and gone on to be successful? There's many stories like that, but one I know that maybe sticks out to you.
We actually, a couple of years ago, helped a woman named Rebecca. She was a Marine veteran. She served in Afghanistan. She was a single mom, and she was getting her undergrad at Cal State San Marcos. And she was coming up against the end of the term and needing extra hours to study, and couldn't really afford additional childcare. So we were able to provide a stipend to her. She graduated with honors, and she's finishing up now a master's at George W. in DC in public health, of all things, right now. And she works as a government employee at the Department of Transportation in DC. So that is someone that, she just found herself stumbling a little bit, but she's in a position now where she will lead us, hopefully not in the next pandemic, but in the prevention of.
A great story. Jodie Grenier, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, for you jumping on with me, and of course for all the work that you do to help other women transition out of the military and find their next path.
Thank you so much, Tabitha. Thank you for highlighting such wonderful stories. I appreciate it.